All right, everybody. It's been 3 or 4 weeks actually since my last video, and I've been so busy with stuff that I just didn't get time to do all this. I know it's a little bit of procrastination also, but I'm finally here and I'm finally making this video, which has taken me a lot of effort to find the time to do it. Anyways, I was thinking for the last couple of weeks, and I know this has been in the headlines. Moises Caicedo has been making headlines for the past couple of weeks, but anyone who's followed his trajectory, anyone who has followed his career path, knows that this was coming. He knows that this has been coming for a long time, and even though there were initial struggles, he's finally now justifying his talent. I think Moises Caicedo will be one of the greats, not just of the Premier League, but of the game. He will be one of the greats in his position. He will be one of the icons of Chelsea Football Club. And I think he will go on to set an example for the coming generation of midfielders. I'm at times a little skeptical about the future of the game, but players like Caicedo give me a lot of hope. And because I love defensive players, I love defensive midfielders, I love defensive coaches, Caicedo is no surprise one of my favorite players, and I genuinely think he's the best defensive midfielder, at least in England, if not the entire world. When Rodri is not available, and Rodri has not been available for some time now. He has been dealing with a lot of injuries. I pray that he gets back to his best because we all would love to see it. But Caicedo right now is at the top of his game, and he is top of everyone's game. So, just like the previous time, I made some notes. I made some notes again, and this time it's on Caicedo. I also saw the game yesterday between Forest and Chelsea. It was it was something. Let's just say that. Some thoughts on that game I'll try to give in this video, but mainly the focus of this video is Moises Caicedo and why he will be one of the greats of the game. Okay, before moving forward, I am so sorry. I am so sorry for all the background noise that you might hear because just like this video, some guys are playing football near me, very near me. Anyways, here are my thoughts on Caicedo. Now, as I said, anyone who has known the trajectory of Caicedo has known that it has been coming for a long time. Now, going back to Caicedo's origins, he came from nothing. He used to play in the lower leagues of Ecuador. He was then scouted by some really good people who took him to those levels, to those opportunities that brought him onto this bigger scene today, onto the biggest scene in the world today, the Premier League. And it has been quite a journey for Caicedo, his family, and everything. But the thing is, even though Caicedo's talent was undeniable, it was so obvious to everyone. His start to life in England was a little difficult, not just at Brighton and then the loan to Belgium, but even when he got to Chelsea, and so much was expected of him that he would tie Chelsea's team together, and Chelsea was going through a lot of reshuffling at the time. There were a lot of managerial changes. There were a lot of administrative changes at Chelsea, and it was a confusing time for Chelsea fans. And Caicedo obviously was struggling at the initial stages to find his footing in the Chelsea team. And Pochettino did give him a lot of opportunities. Pochettino supported him a lot. He knew his talent. Pochettino knew what he could do. And even though I personally wouldn't have minded a second season for Pochettino, he didn't get one. But what a blessing in disguise that has been, because Enzo Maresca has completely turned Chelsea around. He has made Chelsea fans dream again. He has made us dream again. And Caicedo has turned into one of, if not the best players on the planet. And the last season, the 24-25 season, was so much better than the 23-24 season for Caicedo. He did score a very good goal at the end of the 23-24 season from from halfway the pitch. But then he had to continue all that into the new season, and he did. He did prove himself in the last season. He even scored in the Conference League final, and he showed signs that he could do so much at Chelsea. But now, when the 25 to 26 season has begun, and we have come a couple months into this season, we are already a couple months into the season, which is unbelievable to me because it feels like it just started yesterday. Even though the international break seemed like it would go on forever. Anyways, I digress. Caicedo has been on this journey for so long, and his life at Chelsea, he has already completed over 2 years at Chelsea, and he has come such a long way. So let me just talk about my notes. I saw this comment. I saw this comment on one of the videos I saw a couple of days back on YouTube, and someone said that if you see the highlights, you won't see Caicedo. But if you saw the game, you'd see that Caicedo is everywhere. And I thought that was so true because Caicedo is the kind of player who is sort of invisible when you try to look at the game superficially, when you try to just go through the game, you just try to skim through a game. But when you try to look meticulously at a game, you try to delve into a game, you would see that he is the anchor of this team. He is the one who holds this team together. He is the one who drives this machine. He is the engine of this Chelsea team, Kante was, like N'Golo Kante was a few years back, and like Makaleli was 20 years back, and even like SCN was a decade back, or more than a decade back. Caicedo is the kind of player who binds the team together. Caicedo is the kind of player who makes the team, who makes the game easier for the team. He makes it easier for Enzo and other midfielders, for colepalmer to go forward. He makes it easier for the defenders, for Reece James and other defenders like Chempong and Tosin and Chalobah and Kukurea even, to play their game comfortably, to not be overburdened by the weight of protecting Sanchez. Because Caicedo does all of these things in addition to passing the ball forward in those areas where Enzo and Palmer could create something out of it. If you saw the game versus Liverpool, Estebao's goal, the goal that sealed the deal for Chelsea, the passing for that goal, right from Sanchez, was so good. It was so good. And there was one pass from Caicedo. There was one pass that if you blinked, you missed it. But it was so good that he just provided that opportunity for all the other players, for Kukurea and all the other players, to get the ball into the final third, to get the ball out of Chelsea's half of the pitch, and just get it to the penalty box, where Esteban was waiting, and he had been playing such a great game that day. And that is what Caicedo does. He is invisible on the pitch, but the moves he makes are what makes the game easier for Chelsea, are what make the game easier for Chelsea. Caicedo is the backbone of this team. Caicedo is the kind of player without whom the team can't function. And I think we saw it in yesterday's game. I was initially making this video before yesterday's game, but something came up and I had to postpone it. But if you saw yesterday's game, you saw the first half, and it was atrocious. Chelsea were unorganized. It felt like Chelsea had no idea what to do. It felt like Chelsea were a completely different team from the one against Liverpool. And yes, we were, if you looked at the team, but it felt like the players didn't have much of an idea what they were doing. It felt like there was not much of a pattern in the first half. And Chelsea seemed to be out of the game, honestly. It felt like Forest might just get away and Ange Postecoglou might save his job yesterday. But that didn't happen. And that didn't happen because of the substitutions at halftime. And I noted down the three substitutions made at halftime. Those were Lavia, Garnacho, and Santos. Santos or Santos, I don't know. Lavia, Garnacho, and Santos subbed off for Caicedo, Gittins, and Marguilh. Now, Gittins showed some promise in the previous game, and Marguilh has been so good for the past couple of games against Liverpool, against Forest. He has been playing the role for other attackers to go forward and get the job done, while he distracts all the other defenders and creates all those spaces, all those opportunities for everyone else to put the ball in the goal. I think Guiu is a real talent, and I think Chelsea need to cherish Marguilh because he will prove to be something in the future. But as soon as Caicedo came on, Pedro Neto's game changed. It felt like Chelsea were all of a sudden organized. It felt like Chelsea knew what to do. It felt like Chelsea had a game plan. And it might just have changed during the halftime conference in the team, in the dugout, in the dressing room. But it felt like something was holding Chelsea together now. It felt like Chelsea had a structure going forward. It felt like Chelsea were in the right mindset. I think Caicedo is the player who enables Chelsea to take all those decisions. I think Caicedo is the player who makes this team function. And I look at his trajectory a little bit. I know I already said that his earlier days at Chelsea were a little tough, but right now, no, not only is he completing his defensive duties, but he's scoring already. He's already scored 3 goals. A defensive midfielder who can score 3 goals this early into the season, and then he'll probably go on to score many more in the season. I just hope we protect him from injuries. And Andre Santos, he needs to up his game because I have really high expectations from him. Everyone has high expectations from Andre. I think Caicedo brings a much needed aggression to this Chelsea team. I don't think Chelsea is the most aggressive of teams. I said this in my previous video. I think Chelsea lack a little bit in the physicality department, which makes a team great. I think Liverpool are quite good in that department, but I don't think Chelsea have a lot of players who are physically tough, who are physically dominant in the game, who feel like towers or who feel like players who you can't cross, who you can't go against just by the size of them or just by their physical capabilities. I think Caicedo is that one player who is physically dominant in the game, who brings that aggression into the game. I think that aggression can be a little too much sometimes. Nicholas Jackson used to do it up until last season. But Caicedo is the player who has that role, who has that job for the team, and he does it really well. He brings that aggression to the team. He does all those clean tackles. He steals the ball away from players. Sometimes he does get cards for all of that, and we have been getting a lot of cards recently. But Caicedo is the player whose entire job is to do that, and not everyone else's. And he does it so well. I think Chelsea team revolves around him. I think if Chelsea's players are planets, Caicedo is the sun for them. I think Caicedo is what this team should be built around, who this team should be built around. And Caicedo is the kind of player who you need to maintain as one of the cores of this team. He is one of the main players of this team. He should be one of the pillars of this team. I'm not saying he is an icon already. I'm not saying he is flawless. He's not at the level of McAlely. He's not at the level of Conte already, and even Caicedo will, or I think he has already admitted that. But he will be. He will be in the future. He will step up his game. You can see through his trajectory that he improves every time. He gets better every time. He adapts to the situation and he makes himself better. He puts those standards to himself and he puts those standards to his team. Now he can still work on his aggression a little bit. He can still channelize it a little better. I'm not saying that he should tone it down because that is really necessary for this team, but he can tone it down a little bit. And I looked at some of his stats. His market value has been rising in the recent years. I compared him to some of the better midfielders in Europe. I saw transfer market charts of Declan Rice. I saw the chart of Federico Valverde of Real Madrid, and their charts have been spiking upwards for quite some time now. But Caicedo's initially wasn't, and I think it just is because of the exposure that he has gotten, and he has only gotten that exposure in the past couple of years or so, the past 3 or 4 years, and that is why his transfer market value has gone up at such an exponential rate. And everyone else's chart was already so high because they had been exposed to the competition so early on in their careers. But Caicedo didn't get that. But still, he is so good. And if you look at his stats, he's already at the top of the most interceptions made in Europe, the most tackles made in Europe so far into the season. It's only a couple months into the season, and he's already topping those charts. If you see his heat map, you would see that he's everywhere on the pitch where he needs to be, especially in the midfield area where he needs to function so well for Chelsea, and his concentration in those areas is so strong. He does come forward, and he does score those wonderful goals that like the one he did against Liverpool. Caicedo is a player who is everywhere. He's everywhere in the team, and he is the heart of this team. I think he is what Chelsea need. I think Chelsea has made one of the best purchases in recent years. I think Caicedo is one of the best purchases by any team. He's one of the best transfers made by any team in the past couple of years. Caicedo and Palmer, these two are here to stay. These two are here to stay for Chelsea. And I think Caicedo will be a legend of the game. Anyways, that was it for the video. I know this has been a long one and I've taken a lot of time. But if you liked it, press the like button. Let me know your thoughts on Caicedo or Chelsea or any football related opinion, I mean. And I'll see you guys next time. Subscribe to my channel and hit me up on my socials if you want. I'll provide the link below. Check out my newsletter from the link. And yeah, you can check out my socials from the other links. This is Arush signing off.